Okay. By 6:05, we will commence.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. Okay. So, if you're just joining us, you're welcome. We are just giving a few minutes. By 6:05 on the dot, we will commence. We just want to allow other people to join us on this session. All right, it's 6:05. Good evening, everybody, and you are welcome officially to the first edition of the GMC Impact Talk Show. And I'll be your moderator for this event throughout the duration of the next 90 minutes. My name is Chinenye Chukwu, and I am the product manager right at the iTrain Africa Foundation, as well as the GMC Impact team. We've been putting together this event at the background, and I have not been working alone. We have with us the founder, Dr. Derisola Adio Adepoju. We also have our program coordinator, Gania Arugundade, and you can see her right here with us. Other members of the team also consist of Sandra Bakut, Nse Ayameluo, Nena Stephen, and Susan Okataye. And we are all happy to welcome you here. Tonight is basically a celebration of impact. Impact. That word has been used so many times, but then we cannot stop using it because what would the world look like without impact? What would the society look like without impact? And that essentially is what we have come to celebrate tonight. Tonight is a meeting of celebration, just like I said. We want to look at all that has happened so far. A lot of us here we're all um, participants of the GMC Impact Talk Show, the 2021 edition, the 2023 edition, and We want to hear our stories. We have our guests in our midst here. We have Benjamin Olarewaju. You get to hear about them. You get to hear from them and listen to them in a bit. We also have Olukunle Akimborewa, and we will be listening to them share with us what their journey has been like so far. At this juncture, I would want to call on the program coordinator. She's here with us, and she's here to give us her opening address as we declare this meeting open. You're welcome, Ma. Can we hear from you, please?
All right. Thank you so much, Tineye. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dania Tarabdade. I am the program coordinator for I Train Africa Foundation. Of course, I Train Africa Foundation is a social enterprise that have global mentorship conference, that is GMC. And we also have 13 weeks mentorship program, which we have some of our products here to walk us through the impact of these two programs in their career and personal life. So in iTrade Africa Foundation also, we majorly our aim is to give African youth, women, and professionals 5 things, and which our speakers are going to run you through how we are giving them these 5 things. Like we have 5 pillars, which is clarity. Of course, if you attend any of our program, it's so certain that you get clarity. The clarity you need for your career, the clarity you need for your personal development, you get this on in iTrain Africa on our GMC programs, both the conference and the mentorship program. We also give people, of course, if you have direction, if you have clarity, rather, you know where you are going. So one of the things we promise on GMC is giving people clarity, direction, skill, network. Yes, network is also another big pillar we give people. You meet people in your industry. Whatever industry you have, you meet people in this industry, you connect, and this help you to grow your career fast. And we also give people global opportunity. Of course, Kule will run us through. Kule is um, one of the volunteer on GMC. He will told us how the program has helped him to have scholarship and admission, of course, in abroad. So these are some of the things we have for you in iTrain Africa Foundation, where we run people through GMC and 13-week mentorship. Just like I said, our vision is aligned with SDG, and our aim is to reach out to youth, women, professional, before 2023. So I welcome you all to this event. I actually believe we are going to take one or two things, success story of people that has been on this journey with us. And this program is going to be reoccurrent event after this first edition, because we have the second edition. And other programs we're running in iTrain Africa Foundation, we announce it on our group, and we let you know as the event unfolds. Thank you and welcome to this occasion.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much for that opening address. She has told us in a nutshell what iTrain Africa Foundation is all about and what the Global Mentorship Conference has been able to accomplish. And I can see we have so many people who have joined us here. You are welcome. You are welcome. Before we go on, I would like to find out, where are you joining us from? Where are you joining us from? Please put it in the chat box. Just tell us where you're joining us from and how been? Has they been hectic? Has today been restless? I just want to hear from you. Yeah, Shelly Lapa, good evening to you too. Good evening. You're joining from Cameroon. And how is Cameroon this evening? Thank you so much for joining us. Aha. Our founder herself is here and she's joining us from Lagos, Nigeria. Mary from Enugu. I can see Ifenyinwa from Enugu, Nigeria as well. I can also see Miss Tura from Lagos, Nigeria. Yemisi from Ogun State, Miriam from Lagos. Please keep it coming. Keep your responses coming. It's so good to hear from you. People joining from different cities, different states, different country. Anila Sabur from Ikeja, Nigeria. The day has been simple and cool. Oh, that's so good to hear. And I'm so glad you are here too. Uluwatoba from Accra, Ghana. How is Accra this evening? You are welcome. You're welcome, everyone. You are welcome to this event. And once again, it's so good to have us here. Before we go on, I would want to call on our founder. She's no stranger to every one of us here. We have one way or the other been under her tutelage, been under her we've been under her knowledge sharing, and the way she has been able to impact and share her knowledge is part of her dream that has brought us to this event today. So one person's dream has transcended beyond states, beyond cities, beyond countries now. And that is just impact in a nutshell. And before I speak, perhaps you're wondering, what's so special about this person? Why should you listen to her? Why should you even hear what she has to say? Maybe you're just meeting her for the first time, and that's fine. On Can you see my screen very briefly? Okay, yes, you can. Meet our founder and the chairman of this organization, Aderinsola Adio Adepoju. She's a multipotentialite. If you are somebody that loves to do so many things and you've been wondering, how can I tie my dreams together? This is somebody who is doing it and she's excelling at it. She's an educator, a coach, an academician, an entrepreneur, and an SDGs Global Opportunities expert. She's strongly dedicated to youth and women empowerment, and she champions the realization of SDGs through the different programs that she has put together. She has been a recipient of over 35 global opportunities, such as grants, awards, fellowships that have taken her across 5 continents. If you've listened to Dr. Sola, you would be familiar with the term global citizen. She is an epitome of what it means to be a global citizen. And being at the helm of the GMC, she has been able to reach over 800,000 people. This event has seen people from over 40 plus countries, registered attendees and speakers, and as well as participants that have come together. It is no wonder that she is called the Clarity Queen. I have been personally a recipient of her clarity sessions that have empowered and inspired so many people to achieve direct endeavors. She is not just here, she is married. It's life. And I would want to call upon our founder here. She's going to speak to us in just 5 minutes. We want to hear from you. I can see somebody in the comment section saying, Chinenye, you can go on and on. She is all that and more. And I really cannot agree less. You're welcome, Ma. Please take the floor.
Good evening or good day, everyone, depending on where you're joining from. Thank you so much, Inaya, for that warm welcome. And it's kind of surreal to be speaking here this evening. And why I say it's surreal is like in one way or the other, you, Kunle, Oluwatobi, Gania, and Co have been, have been part of this vision. You have been, born bearers towards this vision at different times. And I think what matters my heart the most is the fact that in growing the vision, the people that are also growing the vision is growing in their personal lives. And that I say it's kind of surreal, like just seeing like all of you on the screen at the same time. And I'm just going to like go back to the very beginning of the I Train Africa Foundation. Gania said a bit about that a couple of minutes ago, but I'm going to go a bit back and all that. I remember at the beginning of I Train Africa has it all itself. And just in case you don't know, we have I Train Africa Foundation and I Train Africa, well, I say enterprise. So they're like two different legal bodies, but it has overarching goal, and it's simply to ensure that Africans are accessing it's just like every other person. But one of the challenges we noticed at the beginning of, or will I say that led to iTrain Africa being founded, was the fact that we Africans were academically brilliant, but we didn't necessarily have the right information, the right network, and clarity. So those three things were lacking. Like I always say, clarity, information, and and maybe even like not three, I think five: clarity, information, the skills to do a lot of things, and the mentorship or guidance to actually go where we needed to go. So, and for us, it was like well, I say it's an epidemic, because it was not just about the level of education of Africans. Because if it was, I always say like it was in 2018 when I decided that we will really need to start something like iTrain Africa, where we are able to offer all these things I've mentioned to people. And at that time, I was at the third year of my PhD, and I said to myself that, you know what, I was attaining the highest level of education at that time, but it still didn't take the fact that I was looking for these things at that time, which was the mentorship. And I always make a joke that I remember traveling all the way from Aberdeen to Liverpool to go and find a professor to give me clarity around certain things, right? So it was not just about the level of education. So that basically bettered iTrain Africa. And here, the very first edition of iTrain Africa, Kunle is here. I remember that was a very, very, how do I put it? It was, we were over ambitious, and I think we were delusional. I think us not knowing the magnitude of what we were going into helped us to stay on top of that particular destiny, because by the time we finally threw ourselves in, went all the way with the marketing and everything, we realized that it's like we took more than what we didn't know, that like how big or how people needed this. So when we threw it out, then we knew we were onto something like a major problem. And I remember then that we had over 14,000 registered participants. People participated. And I think one of the people that participated is here today, Oluwatobi Benjamin. I didn't even know that until I met Toby last year. And I remember that when I interviewed him to come and be in our space, and he said to me, he said, I can't forget that statement. He said, aside my parents, you are the one singular person that has had the most impact in my life as an adult. And I was like, how do I even know you? And this is the first time I mean, like through GMC 2021. Of course, it's here. He's going to probably tell his story today, but which is why I say I'm happy that we didn't just birth the mission. The people who have come to join on the mission with us are giving back, are like continually, like, propagating this. And good enough, Kunle is also here doing well in his own space. And I remember earlier in the year, and Kunle had a conversation around how this volunteering for that, the GMC and the whole movement has, helped him also to do certain things, which I believe you'll probably talk about at some point during this interview. But don't let me let the cat out of the bag. But I think it's my greatest joy that I am growing the vision with people who are also growing alongside growing the vision. So thank you very much. And I'm glad to be here today, Chinaye.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You have really spoken so well. And anyone who heard you in the last couple of minutes knows that your passion is so evident. You are passionate about what you do, and you do not hide your passion. Thank you very much, ma'am. And she is not here alone, just like you've heard. You've heard of Kunle, you've heard of Benjamin, and you're wondering, who are these people? You'll get to meet them in a bit. You will get to meet them in a bit. So we are setting up our panel. We have the founder on the seat already, and we have somebody, if you were here earlier, you must have heard her speak. She is the program coordinator. I'm just going to let you into a little a little story, her background, her bio, who she is, and what she does. And you're going to see it pull up on your screen right now. She's Gania Arogundade. She is the program coordinator at iTrain Africa Foundation. Already, I'm not going to go into what iTrain Africa Foundation is. The founder herself has done justice to explaining this. She is a special needs educator, and she's not just, if you are in the space of education, without even being in the space of education, you know what it takes to be a special needs educator. It takes a higher level of professionalism. She handles and she works with children with dyslexia. That would let you know the amount of mental initiative she has. She's committed to education, and her expertise spans across managing ADHD, autism, learning issues, and all of that within the school setting. She is supported by her certification from the University of Colorado, and she's here with us. She has served in different capacity of leadership and program management. She has coordinated the different editions of the GMC, which you have all heard. We had over 24,000 registrants from different countries. And here it is. The GMC Impact Talk Show is part of our initiation as well, initiative to showcase and measure the impact of the GMC conference and the 13-week mentorship. She's happily married with children, and she's balancing her professional and community endeavors properly. So join me once again as I welcome her to the podium, Gania Arugundade. I will be moving on. I'm not seeing your reactions in the comment section. I want to see those emojis. Please keep it coming. You are giving me the energy I need for this talk show. I'll be moving on to introduce the next interviewee we have here. He is no stranger to you because in the last couple of minutes, you've heard both the founder and the program coordinator talk about him and the things he has been able to do as well. I know you're wondering, who am I going to call up? Is none other than Benjamin Olarewaju. And in a bit, you're going to see what he's been able to do. Benjamin Oluwatobi Olarewaju was born and raised in the northern part of Nigeria. So you see, when I say we have a well-rounded panel today, you know that it is well-rounded. He is a chemical engineering graduate from the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi State, and he has earned several recognition for his academic excellence. Over the past year, he has ventured into the tech space in focusing on Internet of Things and cloud computing, where he has enabled people to have seamless control over their homes regardless of location. Regardless of location. Like that is empowerment on another level. He is a strong advocate for societal growth, and he has participated in various projects that support the UN Sustainable Development Goals, as well as promoting quality education, empowering the younger generation, and contributing to plastic waste management. His goal is to pursue a postgraduate degree in sustainable systems engineering and to grow as a global citizen. Now that I said the word global citizen, remember where it came from, right? So you're welcome, Benjamin. I just want to introduce our guest, and he's joining us from Lagos, Nigeria. Remember what I said earlier, a global citizen, raised in the north, joining us from the west, and we are all converging together. So you're welcome, Benjamin. I will just quickly pull up the bio of our next guest we have with us. He's somebody we can see on our screen right now, and even if you don't know him, you can see him and you're about to know him. His name is Olukunle Akimborewa, and he's joining us from Ohio. Yes, he is a dedicated PhD candidate of pharmacology, physiology, and neurobiology. You can see I'm almost twisting my tongue right here. He's okay. Yeah, there we have it. He has a passion for advancing cardiovascular research and fostering academic mentorship. He has a background in physiology and hands-on experience with cardiology and molecular research. He's currently harnessing a novel strated muscle-specific gene. This is no child's play. Like the person we have here, he's developing therapies that will target cardiovascular diseases. If you've ever lost someone to what we popularly know as a heart attack, you would know why his research and his knowledge is so important. He is a committed mentor beyond research, and he actively supports African youth through various mentorship initiatives, including his work with the Cincinnati Youth Collaborative, the iScholar Initiative, and iTrain Africa Global Mentorship Conference. He is here with us, and his long-term vision is to establish a structured mentoring program that would enhance the global competitiveness and the academic success of young Africans. Please, I want to see us putting our hands together, saying welcome to our interviewees. They are here to share their knowledge with us, and I would just want to unmute Benjamin. Just in 30 seconds, we want to hear from you how happy, before I go into our interview questions and the session we have, I just want to hear you tell us in 30 seconds how happy you are to be with us. Benjamin, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
Good day, everyone.
evening.
Depending on where we're joining from. I'm really, really excited to be in this space this evening. When I got the notification, I was like, oh, wonderful. What a wonderful place to reconnect with my people again. I'm so really, really excited. Really, really excited. I can't even
Thank
express how excited I am.
We can
Nice
see
to
the
meet
smiles on your
everyone.
face. Thank you very much. I would be calling on Kunle to just give us in 30 seconds how happy and how glad he is to be in our midst this evening. Kunle, please take it away.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you so much, Chineye. Good day, everyone. I'm very, very happy to be here. Um, this is home for me. This is family. I mean, you all know as Dr. Adio Adepoju, the Clarity Queen. I know her as Auntie Diri, my wonderful cousin that has really made a huge impact in my life. So it's really, really important for me to be here. I'm very happy to be here and I don't take this for granted in any way. iTrain Africa has been a huge blessing to my life. So every opportunity I get to give back, I'm always happy. Like yes, yes, let's do it. So I really look forward to sharing my experiences, sharing everything, and just showing you guys how much GMC iTrain Africa is the biggest blessing you probably can have through the internet. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. Thank you very much. And so that would propel us into our talk show proper. I'll be feeding us with questions and we'll be listening. Please, our participants, we would take, if you have any questions, if they say anything and you know you don't want to forget, just drop your questions in the chat section. Yeah, just drop it in the chat box and we will take your questions. There would also be opportunities for those of us who want to unmute and ask our questions live. We would be allowed to do that. And I just want to commend a lot of us who are here with their videos on. I can see interesting faces. I can see some familiar faces as well. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Now, as we kickstart this talk show, I want to take us back to where it first started, and I'll be asking Dr. Aderinsola, first of all, as the founder, I know you touched on this briefly when you gave us your opening address, but in just 30 seconds, you see, I really respect the time of the people who have made it to our talk show today. So I would be expecting us to be as timely as possible with our responses, just like we've all been taught from iTrain Africa. So in less than a minute, I would just want you to run us through your dream. What made you start this foundation? What inspired you to start the organization? And how has this vision evolved over time? There are times when, of course, everyone who has had a vision sometimes would have the opportunity to further streamline it, further tweak it and all. We just want to hear from you. What informed this and how has it evolved over time? Doctor.
Thank you, Chineye. Like I said before, what informed this was just a lack of, there was a major gap between the education we were being offered in Africa and what we actually need to thrive in the 21st century. Another major problem was, which was obvious, which is still a major problem, is a lack of clarity. I always say, there's something I say all the time, I'm sure Chinaya knows that thing by now. I always say, no matter how fast you go in a wrong direction, you will never arrive at your destination. So people are typically not clear about what they need to do next. Like, because we were being sold education is the ultimate from our African background. But alas, all of us get to that third level or second degree and we are still confused. We don't know what to do next and how to succeed. So the inspiration behind it was like, is there a place we can all get clarity? Like, this is what I should be doing at this time of my life. Then when I get clarity on that, what next? Then where do I then get the skills to navigate that? So that was basically what inspired this foundation. Like, it was unconventional. How do you sell clarity to people? How do you sell, like, come, let me give you clarity to people? But that was what bettered GMC, because the mentorship in it, what we are really getting from a mentor is clarity and direction. And those two things led to this foundation, clarity and direction.
Thank you so much, Ma. I would move on to our program coordinator, Gania, and I would want you to tell us, having successfully conducted and coordinated 2 editions of the Global Mentorship Conference, what would you say were the standout achievements from these events in 1 minute?
Okay, thank you for that question, Chineye. Actually, I need to correct you. I started my journey on the GMC with GMC in the 2nd edition. So I did not participate in the 1st edition. I wasn't there. So I started the journey for the 2nd edition, and I can tell you there were reports, and I was taking through what happened in the 1st edition. So what we did was, after the 1st edition, the reports we had for the 1st edition, we observed we still have a long way to go. People still need the services. So what we did was to double our efforts so that we can give people more clarity, more directions that will have impacts on their career and their personal life. So, for instance, in the 1st, just like Doctor said, in the 1st edition, we had 14,000 registered participants. In the 2nd edition, we have like double. We have 24,000, all right? Increased the number just because we want to cover. We want our audiences, youth, African youth, women, professionals, to have this clarity. When you are clear on what you need to do, it's just a goal for you. You know where you are going, you know what you need to get to where you are going. So we expand our participants. We also expanded our speakers. Yes. For the 1st edition, we had 30 speakers, but for the 2nd edition, we have 41,000 plus speakers across nations to come and speak to people on clarity, on direction. So this is one of the value. Like when we are having the next edition now, definitely we are going to triple or even expand, because people, you can bear me witness that the question, of course, we ask questions on the platform, and it's so obvious that people still need clarity. They need direction. Yes. There's so many things. So you can bear me witness. So for the next edition, which is going to take place next year, this effort, because our target is to reach 50 million. So we need to work on this. And all right, so these are the impacts we have gotten for the 2 editions we had.
Thank you so much. I am very sure if I had allowed you, everybody can see how passionate you are about this. And it is one of the things that really moves this organization, the drive to reach more, progressively reaching more and more. And I have no doubt that even the next edition would surpass the impact that the previous ones have made. And then now it's time to hear from the recipients themselves. I would start with Benjamin, and I'll be asking Benjamin to, first of all, Benjamin, what edition of the GMC did you participate in?
I was at the first edition, 2021, and also
Okay.
partly the second edition as well.
Oh, that's so good. And this will lead me to the next question before I move to Kunle. Having been a participant in the various editions, what level of clarity achieved by you regarding your personal and professional goals would you say have been instrumental to your journey so far? The level of
Uh,
clarity you were able to achieve and how this have impacted your personal and your professional journey.
thank you very much for that question. Uh, I must say that the level of clarity I got after the first edition was like moving from 0 to 100,
Wow.
because I'm the kind of person that actually believe that just in my shoe, regardless of what goes around. And my life was so focused that I don't even care about what's going on the outside. But coming in contact with the first edition of the GMC program and meeting our clarity expert, my very own triple A mama, we call her triple A, is sincerely things changed for me. Uh, First and foremost, I would say that, okay, actually, I was good academically, but after the GMC program, I think my impact rate in my academic space increased. I think I doubled there after the GMC program. I doubled as the director of academics in
Wow.
my department, the school level, 2 times, not just one. Ideally, it's just a single tenor for every candidate, but mine was voluntarily given to take up that responsibility twice. And I must say that if not for James, sincerely speaking, I don't think I will have that capacity to take that position. First thing I
Thank
learned on the James was
Okay,
to
okay.
unlearn. Okay, should I stop or I should go on?
Oh, just round off, just round off.
Okay, so I must say the level of my clarity actually grew from 0 to 100 after the GMC first edition.
Thank you so much. And you were about saying something, which was you learned to unlearn, to relearn, to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And that's
Yeah.
so key in anything we are doing, because if you do not have that growth mindset, you'll be so fixed in your ways that you would find it difficult to assimilate clarity, even when it is being handed over to you on a platter of gold. So thank you so much. I would move on to Kunle right here. And Kule, please tell us the editions of GMC. I know you've been here like way back, so just take us down memory lane in less than a minute before I ask you my next question.
Hmm. Less than a minute is going to be tough, but I'll try.
Thank you.
Um, I'm proud to say I've been part of both editions. The first one in 2021 and the second one, I think that was last year. And I wasn't just a participant, I was a volunteer. I was part of the vision. I was part of the people working to make everything come to life. And that's made a huge impact in my life because just building that capacity to be able to uh, visualize something mentally and then put it to life, carry out a vision, and pretty much that's what you're doing in a PhD. Like you have a project, you start from the mental side of it, and then you have to start planning, putting pieces together, people to work with, how to make it happen. So that's really translated to my research. And right now, I would say like I work with a very high level of independence. Like unlike other people in their PhD programs that have to like go to their supervisors from time to time, I barely go to my supervisor because I've been able to build that capacity of um, planning something, thinking about it in my head, putting the pieces together and getting it to work. And I really built that capacity, being pretty much like the deputy convener, especially for the first one, because I was by her side like every step of the way, and it literally started from Kunle, let's do this, and we just talked about it, and then we started putting the pieces together, bringing in the volunteers. Uh, we started planning, okay, what platform are we going to do it on, upping, and up until that day, everything worked out. So I'll say that has been the biggest impact. There's more, but you gave me 1 minute, so I'll stop there.
You would have more than a minute to share in just a minute. But thank you so much for explaining that to us. And there's something very common in your story and in Benjamin's story, the impact that this has made in your academic venture. Benjamin here explained to us how he got double recognition for something that every other person will just get once. He also explained to us the fact that elevated his academic prowess beyond what he even thought. And he explained to us how, as an introvert, he would typically not even know what's happening out there. But this gave him more knowledge than he can imagine. And now to hear you support this with how you are doing great exploit in your PhD just tops the cake completely. So I would say kudos to you all for not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. Because it is one thing to learn, it is one thing to go and practice it where you are. You are joining us from outside Nigeria. Benjamin is joining us from Nigeria, and you both are doing exploits. So this is me giving you a round of applause from here and saying thank you and well done. And then before I go to the next section, I would want to ask the founder a question. Every journey has its challenges. We are smiling here, we are celebrating, we are, cheering each other on, but we want to hear from you, Ma. Can you tell us a significant obstacle that you faced in building this foundation, the whole of the conferences, and how you overcame it?
You know why I'm laughing? Kuli probably remembers this thing about like, like I don't think we have been so much under mental duress as what like this particular challenge in the first edition. Kule, you remember like when we discovered like a week to the event and we discovered that Opie was going to charge us for $1,000 and we were broke. like I'm just remembering right now and um, you know when Kule said built his capacity, it really did. Because he was actually the deputy convener, like, oh no, Kule took a lot of the hits. And I remember then, and he learned a lot from that experience. I delegated Kule to check out the platform we were going to use, because again, we were big on networking for the event. We wanted Africans to network, because one of the major challenges is that Africans, we are always doing things independently, one. And know that thing, I say, if you want to go far, go with people. So we wanted Africans to build a network across borders. As you can see in this room, we have Cameroon, Liberia, and things like that. So we're really big on bringing Africans together to build that global thing. So we researched platforms and we decided on Hopping because of the networking capacity. And I remember delegating that thing to Kunle and saying, this Hopping is great though. And we were just going to pay $100 one-to-one thing. Because again, till now, I'm not sure we received funding from anywhere. This is just me trying to use my money, my funds to do that amount of impact. So we were on a budget, like trying to say, let's just use something that was good but still affordable. And Kunle went to Richard and said, Auntie Jerry, this thing is $100. Only for us. We had put out flyers to say, we are going to do this thing on Hopping. Everything was good. Then I think the Monday before the event, which was on a Saturday, October 16, Kunle just came and said, today, wow, wow. And I said, what is it? He said that he just realized now that for every participant, I pay $50. And but that was going to be about 3,000
Wow.
in my house. I think my husband, and I'm the kind of person that I'm sure Chineke will probably know by now, when there are challenges, I don't blow by it. Like when you tell me there's a major challenge by it, because my brain is just trying to think that what next, because if I lie scream from today to tomorrow, like nothing was gonna. And that's why I said, as in me and him learned in that thing, because what we learned is I learned that when I delegate something to somebody, I should probably, check again. And he also learns that she doesn't just take, all the when they're advertising things, like you don't just take the surface level, you read in between the lines of the terms and things like that. So I would say what made us really fidget that time was we had to start thinking about what other platform could we use that would deliver the same thing to us based on the money I had. So after, like, I remember how did we then solve that challenge? So the first thing I asked myself is, how much did I have in savings? That was the first question I had myself. And I said, okay, is it possible for me to still be able to cushion the effect of that cost? Then the second thing, probably the most supportive husband alive. And my husband said, Kunle, send an email to the people that have this platform right now. Let's have a talk with them. This is for Africa. We are not gaining from it. Let's see if we can have a negotiation around this thing. Again, another learning point. So we learned to, when troubles come, chin up, explore your options. That night, Kule got, like, I don't know, it performed some miracle, but by the next morning, we were having a meeting with the representative from Hopping about how we wanted to do impact. Bottom line is we managed the situation. We didn't have to go and tell people that you cannot join us on Hopping again and things like that. We managed the situation. So all this, as in, I'm sure nobody had seen behind the scene how we were practically peeing in our pants few days to the event because we didn't have money to pay for the platform that we had announced that we were going to use. So these are some of the challenges. Of course, this is tied to costs and all that for beginner, that beginner thing that you don't know a lot of things and all, but that's behind the scenes. I'm sure someone is like, I say, hey, yeah, so we're going to pay $3,000 1 week to the event and we didn't know. So costs is one major challenge that's it's a lot of money to fund this kind of events and we don't charge for it.
Yes. Thank you so much for bringing that perspective. We do not talk about the amount of finance it costs to give knowledge to people. And a lot of people are entitled to knowledge. We just feel, oh,
Yeah.
they put this is on YouTube, is there, it's just an event, but a whole paid platform. And nobody is going to say, oh, if we don't get this money, we can't do it. The change has to start from someone. And I would move to Kunle to ask him this question, especially in your experience interacting with people outside Nigeria. You are not in Nigeria presently, just like you explained to us. And that's another thing I would like to want to hear your experience in interacting with people outside Nigeria and how the knowledge and the skills you gained kind of enabled you to be how it helped your exposure as well as enabled you to interact with people in a cross cultural environment, because we just like something that doctor said now, Africans are not so big on collaboration. It is improving these days, but even we are not yet there. We are nowhere close to where we should be as regards collaboration, mentorship. A lot of people feel like if they tell you or if they shine their light on you, it will dim theirs. So now that you are in a different environment, in a different space, can you take us through what that means to you and how the GMC impacted on your mindset and exposure?
Okay. So the best way to achieve good result at something is preparation, right? So I had exposure to this kind of cross-cultural environment prior to being here. And guess where that came from? I'm from Africa, GMC, right? So when we started working on GMC, I had to be in meetings with people from Ghana. I remember there was someone from Ghana, I think Atu, or I can't remember his name, but there was someone from Ghana that was working with Unleash. I had to be in a meeting with people from Cameroon, Liberia.
Also
I had to
speakers.
speakers. We had speakers from Ukraine, we had speakers from the US. So that was really my first exposure to, okay, if you're going to do anything on a global platform, you have to be able to relate with people uh, from different cultures, different backgrounds. And I struggled a bit initially. First of all, you have a way you talk, they have a way they talk, you struggle to hear each other. But with time, that experience really helped me
Oh,
to
yeah.
understand that first of all, you don't have to change yourself. You have to be your authentic self for people from other cultures to really appreciate you. They need to see that authenticity in you. They don't want to see someone that is trying to pander to them, or you're trying to change uh for them, like you're trying to maybe change the way you speak or change the way you act or the way you dress. Like here, when I do my presentation, I wear uh like our native attire, and I get compliments
Ah,
mostly from the people here because they love that authenticity, you being yourself. And I learned that from GMC, because I remember there were speakers that I had to speak to, and they are really interested in the actual pronunciation of your name. Like they want you to teach them how to pronounce your name. So I knew, okay, they want you to pronounce your name properly. So I would say that experience with GMC and speaking with people from different cultures helped me and prepared me. So coming here, and another thing here is they really really appreciate things like this. Like when you tell them you were a part of something like this, like it blows their mind. Like it blows their mind. So for me, if I want to strike a conversation with someone here, an easy way for me to start is, oh, I was a part of a conference, a mentorship conference. They'd be like, oh, wow, how, So that's another thing that being a part of GMC has done for me. It has given me something I can use to like converse with anybody here, and it kind of levels the playing field for me. So I don't know if I've answered the question properly.
oh, you did. You more than did justice to it. And one thing I'm taking away from what you just said is authenticity. Be true to who you are. There is no need to try to modify yourself to fit in, to belong, because your story is powerful just as it is. And I hope that this is resonating to someone out there. Maybe you don't feel enough. Maybe you don't feel okay. Maybe you feel like, you have issues with imposter syndrome and all of that. You can hear Kunle talking about his experience and how he intentionally reps our culture. Like it's Nigeria to the world for you. He's intentional about it. He's dressing it. He's speaking it. And that's something that is very, very key, even in portraying ourselves in the international space. Okay, I would come to Benjamin and I would want to ask Benjamin, I would love you to share your experiences, specifically a challenge you faced, even in the course of your mentorship and your professional journey, and how you addressed it. What kind of, because we know for everybody, the typical Nigerian, the journey is not smooth. Nobody gives you a roadmap and say, take, this is how you would do, this is how you would move until you get to your journey. Sometimes it's filled with ups and downs, and you have to figure it out on your own. So let's hear from you. How have you been able to address these challenges you faced in your mentorship journey? And what takeaways from the GMC program helped you to overcome this? Benjamin, please.
Thank you very much for that wonderful question. Uh, I think I will start with the latter question, which you had. What is that thing, takeaway I have from the first gen? If I recall vividly, I think there is what I learned during the program, which is when you want something, you go after it. When you really want something, you go after it. And ever since I've been able to set my goals right, specific. and I just give it up and go for it. Uh, During my mentorship program, I think engaging with the mentors, speaking with them, listening to them is just mind blowing. First thing was my mindset, which was changed. I really grateful for that, and thereafter I was able to. I think from that 2021 till now, most of the ideas and impact I have were result of that GMC program. I think the first collaboration I had, which was with a team, was from the Global Mentorship Program, particularly Unleash program. That was where which partnership with iTunes Africa during the first uh, GMC program. We were given the opportunity to group together and then come up with an idea. And I was so glad I was part of it to the extent that we even won the I think second position in Nigeria before yeah
Wow.
before we moved to the African level. So it was just an eye opening, and ever since I've learned to reach out to people when I need a particular information that I don't have, and this is what GMC has taught me. When you need something, you go after it, and just as Kole said, this authenticity is something that is very very. You must just come as you are and let people meet you. People are more interested in you and not the fake part of it. And I will always say, oh, in fact, when I speak, they'll feel like if I tell someone that I came from the north, and they will be like, and you speak like this. I say, yeah, that is where I came from. But irrespective of my region or where I was raised, the environment did not conform me to what it wants to. Rather, I use that as a weapon to reach my goal. So the first takeaway from that GMC program was know what you want and go for it.
Go for
The
it.
ability to reach out to people, that is meeting them, telling them what you actually need, is also something that is very, very important for me.
Thank you so much. And what you just said now, when you set your eyes on a goal, go for it. And not just that, you do not need to wait for people to come to you. You reach out, network with people, go and meet them, interact with them. The worst you can get is a no. And who knows, you just might get that yes you are looking for. So thank you so much. I would want to take a moment to go through the comment section. We have a party going on in the comment section right here. We have somebody from we have Prince Besa from Liberia saying, I hope to volunteer on this platform. I'm passionate about the said innovation as a change maker from Liberia. Oh, that's so lovely, Prince. We'll be glad to have you. And Susan is saying, value is dropping already. Yes, it's dropping hot already. And someone is saying, Dr. AA is vindicated that this program is not for women only. Thank you so much. We can hear our amazing guests. They are men and they are charting the course in their various endeavors. Yes, it is true. One thing to learn, another to practice. And Sandra is saying, I'm so proud of you, Kunle. You are repping us well. Oh, yes, he is. Mentorship really gives you more confidence. Oh, it does, because when you know where you're going and how to get there, it makes the journey easier and relatable. Okay, before we begin to hear from our guests and our participants, I would want to come to our program coordinator. I would like you to tell us, Ma, in the course of, holding this program and even thereafter, after the program, what kind of feedback have you received from the attendees? And how has this shaped the way you will approach new editions of the conference? You already told us that there'll be a different edition, a new edition coming up next year. And beyond the conference, I'm sure there are other programs that the foundation has in store for us. So what kind of feedbacks have you gotten so far from attendees of the previous conferences? And how would this shape the way you approach new programs going forward?
Thank you for that question. Just like I said in my the first question, that after the edition, of course, we have people giving us reports, testimony, how the program has impacted them, and what they need more. All right. You for the first edition, we have the youth edition. For the second edition, we have the women edition, of course. So our plan for the third edition, of course, my guy has not told me to say that, but we are coming big, all right? And what informed all this decision was the feedback we got from the previous edition. And that is also one of the reasons why, as a program coordinator, I initiated this program. Like, let people come and give us what GMC has done in their career and personal life. And you also agree with me. Of course, I know, as an intern product manager on this call, one of our objectives of the program is to measure what? Impact, to measure people's participant impact. And that, of course, we also inform our decision in making this, in planning for the next edition. So the feedback given to us, of course, is one of the things that brought up this program. And also, we are also planning to have a capacity building workshop. Of course, this capacity building workshop is going to be is not going to be totally free. Let me say that. It's not going to be totally free. Why? Because we're going to have resource person coming in, our mentors, and for this, we need to encourage them. All right. And that is why we're not putting it totally free. So as the events unfold, we're going to give you information on the CBW, which is coming live very soon on iTrain Africa Foundation. So also, after this first edition, just like I said, we have other editions. We actually want to measure impact. We want people to see what this program has done. And just like I said, this revolves around the feedback we got from the first edition and the second edition. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's obvious that feedback and the reception that the attendees have had for the past editions is so much that you are planning an even bigger one. And that's so wonderful to hear. It is so, so encouraging. Now, there's something I would want to ask our founder before we move to questions and answers. And I would want to ask you, ma'am, two is actually a two-in-one question. One, what impact and legacy are you most proud of in the course of doing this? That's one. And the second one, what advice would you give to young professionals and entrepreneurs and young Africans generally who wish to create meaningful impact in their own endeavors? And perhaps there are people here who are watching this and there is the yearning in their hearts. Oh, I wish to do this. I wish I could reach people in this way. What advice would you give to them? So that's we have two questions there for you, Ma.
Thank you. Let me go with the first one. Like when you say, what are the things I'm most proud of in terms of impact on this? Yeah. Let me start with the
You had
fact
to clear your
that I
throat for
think
that one.
in the first edition, we had over, okay, like let me expatiate a bit. Like, this program is always beyond the conference. We always have a 13 weeks mentorship program right after the this, where we select some people, 1,000, 2,000 people, to then go through a 13 weeks mentorship program. And we partner with people to, help us in this mentorship and all this coaching and all. And I remember clearly in the first edition, we partnered with a particular organization in the US, and that edition was focused, as in that partner was focused on helping Africans get into universities abroad for free. And this particular partner then, of course, I have a very huge network because of my global citizenship and things like that. We had to bring them. And I remember particularly, there was a particular lady then, her name is Catherine. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here with us today. And Catherine, to me then, she wrote me from the US like a couple of months later, or like after the first GMC this thing. And in that email, she said to me, she said, "Ma, like, you don't know what you've done in my life. Through that mentorship program, through this partner, I followed through on the mentorship they gave me. And I was able to get a 5 years fully funded PhD program. And I'm now in the US on that thing." Like, to put into perspective, Kunle will probably be able to smile because Kunle is on the same journey, got all that winning and everything. Like, if you say you got a 5 years fully funded master's stroke PhD program in the US, think about it like it's like you got $200,000. So whatever currency you are in, convert that in your head. So that is, I always say, for me, impact is always about, not just about the quantity, because if I'm talking about impact in terms of quantity, we have that number. In the first edition, we reached 800,000 people. In the second edition, we reached 1.9 million. So cumulatively, we've reached about 2.7 million people with that particular conference. But it's not just about the number. We've had over 1,000 people fill feedback forms per edition, right? But I always say that if our vision is to reach 10 million people by 2030, how do you think I'm going to reach 10 million people? Is because I am banking on the fact that one person per country, per city, per whatever, is going to, their life will transform tremendously enough that they can then build their own thing and reach other people. So for someone like Catherine, I remember Catherine coming back to say, "Oh, Ma, if you ever need me to be that partner," in quotes, because that partner have done their own and they've been able to guide her. "If you ever need me to be that person that is then guiding others on how to go on this journey." No. So what does that mean for me? It means I'm raising soldiers. So to be able to carry on the aspect that is one, I had to say that example because whenever we're talking about impact inside of numbers, people don't think about how a person's life is actually changing, one person per time. Now, the other person I also like to refer to in terms of impact is Naomi. Naomi is not Nigerian. She's from Cameroon. Again, unfortunately, she couldn't be here. Naomi wrote one long epistle on a Facebook page about that conference and tagged me. And I was just going on, wow, like saying why. I remember Naomi came to 2021 conference wanting to build, which is going to lead me to the second answer, wanting to build something like this impact-focused organization in Cameroon. No clarity whatsoever. Of course, she needed to build her own capacity to be able to build the capacity of others. And Naomi also went through that mentorship program, and Naomi went ahead to win. The name of Naomi's initiative right now is called Youth Connect. And she was able to build herself first, went on to win several things. One of the things she won was the Obama Youth Leadership thing that took her to the United States for that particular fellowship. And Naomi has gone on to use that clarity to build Youth Connect in Cameroon. And she has done tremendous things through Youth Connect. So that way, the youth, the ripple effect I'm banking on, that one person changes and is changing others. Kunle is right here, as in he participated as a volunteer. And we had this conversation earlier. He said, Auntie Darren, I wanted to apply for something. And with my volunteer experience, I applied for that thing. It was forget it. It was an easy stuff. So the fact that their lives change and they are able to then build other things that are changing people's life, that impact, I can't even put money on it. Now, to the youth that wants to build something like this, I want to reach people. I always say something. I said in the case of the 3 people I mentioned, they built capacity. They built individual capacity. you are only like your organization is only as good as the person who is championing the vision. Conley kept repeating something like he was able to build capacity by volunteering for this thing. So he could then, the capacity you build will reflect. And when I say capacity, please don't be that person who uses the word volunteer lightly. Like people have turned volunteering to a title or to a tag these days. And it's just like, I'm a volunteer. Because why? They've heard me say over and over, or another person say, when you say you're a volunteer, when you apply for all these global opportunities, you're going to win it. It will show at your interview that you lack capacity when they finally speak with you. So when you say I'm a volunteer, be sure that you did actually volunteer to learn on that.
Okay, it appears we are having a bit of network issue with
I think I'm
doctors.
breaking off a bit. Can you still hear me? I
Okay,
broke
we
off for
can
a
hear you
bit.
now. Yes, you
Okay,
did.
great. So lack of capacity in knowledge will show. So please attach yourself to someone that is building it already and serve, truly serve. You cannot lead without serving, number one. Now, the other thing I would put as the number two thing, apart from when you finally build capacity on how to do these things, is remember, broke does not fund broke. I repeat, broke does not fund broke. You may be wanting to do impact, but impact costs money. I was very clear on that from the beginning. So, which is why we run a social enterprise model where we'll have an enterprise that is able to make
Network
money
has thrown
for us to
her
be able to.
off, and I
Hello,
can't
I
hear
can
her
hear you.
anymore.
Can you hear
Okay,
me?
you're back now. Yes. Okay, so perhaps you just round off, Ma.
Sustainable thing.
Okay,
What does
she's back.
sustainability mean in the SDG space? It means that you have the resources, which will be fund, humans, capacity, like volunteer, and ensure that you are building a sustainable impact venture by ensuring that you have something that is going to fund that impact, or else you will turn to a nuisance in people's. Can you still hear me? Is Chinaya here?
Yes.
Is Chinaya still here? I can't see her on the screen, so I'm guessing our network is off. But Kunle, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you. I can't see you. I can hear you. I can see Chineye, but I can't hear her.
Oh, you can't see me, really?
Yeah, I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Can any other person see me, please?
Yes, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Hello?
You can only hear you.
I can also hear you,
I think
but
I'm
I
at the
can't see
top
you.
of this thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Chinaya is the host, but I'm guessing our network is fluctuating. So I'm just going to probably reclaim host so that I show on the screen while Chinaya sorts out this thing. Chinaya, just give me 1
Hello,
minute.
can
I
you
want to be
hear me?
sure which Dr. Aderintola I am in this room.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Because
Can you hear me now?
it's okay, great.
It's part of
So
the
Chinaya,
impact
please,
we are
whenever you are
talking
here,
about.
just let me know so that I
Can you
can,
hear me? I'm here now. Can you
this
hear
thing. But I'm just going to
me?
continue and hold this conversation.
Yeah,
Doctor,
we
can you
can
hear
hear you.
her? She's here. She's back.
I'm glad to be back. It's part of the impact we are talking about, only that this is the negative one as a result of our country's telecommunication situation. All right. It seems doctor's network has gone off too. Okay. While we wait for her to come back, I was about asking Kunle and Benjamin what sustainable development goals mean to them in just 1 minute, and which particular one of them have you been able to apply, and in the course of doing the GMC program, which of the SDGs have you worked with, and which one are you still working with, as well as your plan in the future? I would start with Benjamin, and then I'll move to Kunle.
All right, thank you very much for that. You said in 1 minute. There are a lot of SDGs I've actually worked with after the GMC program. I think okay, but I will just mention the recent one that I've worked. Last year, I worked on a project, on a school project, which was under SDG 4. I carried that out at Bauchi State, Nigeria. And also, I worked under climate action, that is SDG 13, planting trees. I did a collaboration with Trillion Africa. I also worked, okay, currently I'm working on that SDG, what's that called? Sustainable City, building a project under cybersecurity and safe community. So over the years, I've actually worked on several SDG program, and to me, SDG program is all about impact. Even though the real definition of SDG is meeting the goal of today without necessarily destroying that of the future. And so I believe through impact, when we impact life, we tend to empower others to keep on with the legacy. And that's just what sustainability is all about in brief. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that explanation. I would want to hear from Kunle right now, especially in the work that you do, your cardiovascular work as well, and your PhD research. Please educate us on what SDGs mean to you, what goals you are using to achieve the things that you do right now, as well as your future plans.
Okay, in the simplest way possible, and this is probably me oversimplifying it, SDGs are just basically the problems that the United Nations are trying to solve. You know, the problems we have in the world that we're trying to solve to make the world a better place. So, for me, SDG 3, which is ensuring health, improving health and well-being for people, that is the SDG that my research falls under particularly. So beyond knowing, okay, this is SDG 3, the SDGs have targets and indicators. So my research, which is trying to reduce the mortality rate of cardiovascular diseases, which cardiovascular diseases are non-communicable diseases. Like you can't transfer a cardiovascular disease to someone else by being close to the person or, or using the same water. So it's a non-communicable disease. So that is target 3.3 of SDG 3, reducing the mortality of non-communicable diseases in the world. And the number one non-communicable disease in the world that kills people, actually the number one killer in the world is cardiovascular diseases. So that is the little part I'm trying to play in the big picture. So it's always important when we talk about clarity. A major part of clarity is knowing how your career fits into the big picture, and the big picture is the SDGs. So have that in mind that you need to be clear on. Okay, this is my career goal. This is the problem I'm trying to solve. This is my contribution to making the world a better place. And this is how we connect to this SDG. So another SDG that I can say I'm playing a part in is SDG 4, that is improving quality education. So how do you educate people? You educate people through research. You educate people through teaching and mentorship. So through my research, through teaching, through mentorship, I'm improving education. So someone is asking, what is SDG? So SDG means Sustainable Development Goals, and there are 17 SDGs. So these 17 SDGs are the goals of the United Nations that we are trying to achieve, that the United Nations are trying to achieve by the year 2030. So they're basically problems that we want to solve in the world. And every career ideally should be able to fit into a particular SDG. If you're an engineer, there's an SDG that your work fits into. If you are in the entrepreneurship space, there's an SDG that your work fits into. So the first step of clarity is defining your career path and figuring out what SDG that fits into. Because if you're not solving a problem, if you're not a problem solver, you don't have a place out there. You need to be a problem solver. So whatever you're doing, you should be able to solve a problem. You can be solving someone's problem by being a fashion designer, right? You're solving their clothing problem. You can be solving someone's problem by um being an educator, you're a teacher, you're teaching people. But one way or the other, whatever problem you're solving, try to understand what SDG relates to. And I believe that's a very important step in getting clarity.
Thank you. That was a mini lecture and masterclass that you just delivered, including educating us on what SDGs are and how they fit, and not just what they are, how you yourself fit into the big picture. Thank you so much, Kunle. At this point in time, I would like to invite our audience. If you have questions, anybody, you have a question, you have something you would like to share, something you would like to contribute, something you want clarity and answers on, please raise your hands and we would give you the opportunity to speak. You can also drop it in the chat box in the comment section here, and we will take your questions. We are open for questions now. I can see some comments. Yes, you can always hear us speak for hours. That's so true. Okay, some of our questions. Someone already asked what is SDGs, and Kunle has done justice to that. He has explained in detail. And okay, I can see Aisha Ibrahim. Aisha Ibrahim, can you unmute yourself and speak now?
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Please, this is my time joining. I'm joining from Ghana, and
Oh, you're
from
welcome.
the little I heard from Sunday, like we are really educated, just like you said, the master class. Yes, we are really educated. But I want to know what this whole program is all about. I'm not really clear about it. I just saw the link and then I started to go through and see what is really going on. So I have learned something. I joined halfway. I learned something, but I just want to understand the objective of the GSP. Thank you. Hello?
Okay. Mm, Yeah, so the GMC, just as the name implies, it's a global mentorship conference. So it's a conference that is designed to provide mentorship. And what is mentorship? Guidance, to African youths that will help them, that will propel them to become global citizens. How do you become a global citizen? That is, you have access to global opportunities in whatever field, in whatever space you're in, either in academics, in entrepreneurship. There are global opportunities out there for us. That's one of the advantages we have coming from a low income country. So the world recognizes that. They know we have limited resources in Africa. If you're from Nigeria, you're from Ghana. So because of that, there are a lot of opportunities out there for us. And we need to get these opportunities. So the conference is designed to guide you, to give you a blueprint. So it's I would say ABC. You get access to these opportunities. How do you get access to them? Information. You hear a lot of things that you've never heard before. So you get access to these opportunities. Then we give you a blueprint. That is, the blueprint is okay. You now know this is the opportunity. How do you get this? What are the things you have to do? And then the third one is a community. So the Global Mentorship Conference also provides a community because during the conference you get to network with other people. And trust me, it's not only about what you know, it's also about who you know. So you need to have a very good network. to get access to global opportunities. So I would say that's what the conference is designed for, to mentor you, to get guidance from people that have gone through these processes, and they've made mistakes. So you're learning from their experiences, you're learning from their mistakes, and it's to provide clarity and also to provide guidance to ultimately become a global citizen. So uh, I don't know if I've answered your question.
Thank you. Very
Yes.
comprehensive. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And thank you, Aisha, for coming on this show. It speaks to your passion to develop yourself as well. You saw a link and you joined and you gained value. Please stay close to us via all our platforms, like where you got the link. There will be other programs coming up. Another edition of the conference will be coming up, as well as a capacity building workshop to further develop us professionally will be coming up. Information as regards all of these programs will be disseminated as time unfolds. Thank you once more. Is there anyone else who has a question?
Please, are you on? Do
Okay,
you
I
have
can
a
see a
WhatsApp?
question. Do we have a what?
I was asking if you have a WhatsApp group or a Telegram group, or it's just a Facebook group.
There is a Telegram group as well. Apart from the
Oh,
Facebook group, we have a Telegram group as well.
oh,
Yes, the link will be dropped in the chat box shortly by
okay.
our
Thank
team, our community manager Susan, as well as project manager Sandra will drop the link in the comment section for us to join the Telegram group.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. We have a question in the chat section here. It says, how can I have access to the mentorship promised by GMC? Okay, this has already been addressed in the answer that Kunle has provided. The Global Mentorship Conference is being organized by the iTrain Africa Foundation, and access to the conference is free, and so many other programs beyond the conference itself, beyond what you have heard, whatever you've heard today, there is more where this all came from. And just the few minutes we have spent tonight cannot even begin to explain or properly quantify, just like what Doctor was saying before the network took her off, cannot properly quantify or explain the amount of impact and knowledge that is being disseminated in any of our conferences. So stay close to us. So many other information would be given to us in due time. Any other question before we have a final word from our guests? Any more questions? Okay, Osborne. You can speak to us. You can unmute and speak to us, Osborne.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hey, can you hear me?
we can hear you. Go ahead. Yes.
Ye- Yes. I wanted to ask that let's say I have probably they've got there is a service that I can offer or that I can help with. Probably this platform of GMC. What can I do? Like if I want to offer a certain service,
Okay. Thank you
probably.
for
Yeah.
okay. Thank you for that question. Your doctor, can you respond to that?
Okay, thank you very much. So, because I'm not certain about what it classifies as service, but
Sorry.
Oh, her network just took her out again. All right. While we wait for her network, I would call on the program coordinator to
I want
respond
to
to your
have,
question.
yeah, yes,
Okay.
once we have,
We lost you. We lost you, Ma. Can you recap?
okay, So I was saying that if I understand you, you're asking how can you be a part of the program to be able to serve in whatever capacity. So what we typically do is we have a permanent link to call for volunteers. It's on our website. The website is www.globalmentorshipconference.com. Globalmentorshipconference.com. That's the website. Just type it on your browser. When you get to the browser on the home page at the top, you'll see probably people and things like that. There's a particular column drop down that says volunteer. If you click on that particular web page, you can always fill the volunteer form. And that volunteer form, once we need people, like in the volunteer form, it's always we always ask like, what do you offer? Like in terms of, oh, I'm a graphic designer, I know how to do graphic design, I know how to moderate, I know how to do content. So anytime we have need for people to volunteer on these programs that we run, we just go to that particular volunteer form. And in fact, if you go to our website, like GMC, as in globalmentorship.com/volunteers, just type /volunteers, you will get to the particular web page. You will see probably past volunteers. You can always fill this thing. And just the shocking statistics, at the last GMC, we had 65 volunteers from about 3 continents. So there's a village behind the success of all this program. So just go to globalmentorshipconference.com, fill it if you are asking about how to volunteer on these programs, and that would once Gania needs people to join her, she goes to that form, reaches out to people, and we get to work from there. But please, I always tell people, service is work. Kunle and Cook can testify that Ghanaian can service is work. So please, if you know you do not this thing, do not even bother volunteering, because what it would mean is we would have recruited you and to volunteer in that capacity. And the success of these programs relies on people delivering on what they say they will deliver on. So I always put that caveat before people fill that form. So, but we are happy to always have people, join on this program to support it. And to add to what Kunle, I think, was it Kunle or Gania said regarding our future programs, because somebody was asking, how do I get this mentorship by the GMC? Please note that mentorship could be in different things. For instance, in the mentorship program, like I said, we brought some mentors that were mentoring people on how to apply for scholarships. Some others were saying were mentored on how to become visible on social media, LinkedIn and co. So there were different things. There were some mentors that came on hard break, people that were starting hard break. So mentorship is about a particular field or a career. So for instance, one of the things that Ghanaian was saying is in the coming months, there'll be a launch of some capacity building workshop. And for now, because people that are here, like Toby and Kunlina, they've talked a lot about academics, as in Kunle has talked about how he has been able to, the process of it helped him also to, get this funded scholarship and all those things abroad. So one of the things we are probably starting with, because of popular requests and feedback, would be capacity building workshops around Africans accessing academic global opportunities. And Ghana has already said it, like they are the ones planning it. There's a lot of logistics involved. Again, broke does not fund broke. So they are probably going to charge a token for those capacity building workshops to bring facilitators that can offer this mentorship to people. But of course, as in, it's not the kind of money that's they would typically charge you in the outside this thing, but they need to be able to run those programs and put things in order, and they will let you know when they finally have the capacity building workshop around academic scholarships and other things. They will let you have the calendar or the program, and you can choose to opt in or not. But whether you opt into that academic capacity building workshop or not, just know that the GMC, which is free for all, is a one-day conference that will hold at a later time in 2025. It's typically October, but more around the date will come up. And other programs that is going to be initiated will also be communicated via the Telegram group and the email from the Global Mentorship Conference team. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that comprehensive answer. I believe the question has been well addressed, and we are rounding up now. We do not have much questions, and I can see Osborne has indicated in the chat box that his question has been answered. Osborne, just a curious one. Where are you joining us from? What's your location, Osborne? You can type it even if you can't speak. Okay, go ahead. Okay. Oh, we lost Osborne for a minute there. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for doing this with us, for coming on this journey, this impact journey with us on this talk show. And before we leave, I would just want to give each of our guests 20 seconds. Yes, 20 seconds. Just give us one word. If you were asked to just give a closing remark in just one sentence, in just one word, something we are taking away. That is our souvenir, the souvenir that you are handing over to each participant that has made that time to be with us on this talk show. Please just give us one word, each of you. I would start from, okay, I'll come to Doctor. I started with Doctor, so I think we'd round up with her. So let me start from our program coordinator. Please just give us one word, one souvenir key takeaway from this talk show, as we call it a night. Oh, we can't hear you. You are
Thank you so
muted, ma.
much.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Chineye, for this and everybody that come up on this show. All right. At High Trade Africa Foundation, we promise you that we continue to increase the impact on African youth women professional till we meet our targets. We assure you that, and that's our promise. Thank you so much for coming live to this program. Bye for
Thank you
now.
very much. And that's our target. We will continue. That's a big promise there. Thank you. Benjamin, over to you. Please give us a souvenir. We are leaving. I want to hear from you.
All right. Thank you very much for this opportunity. My takeaway from this will be build capacity. And while you're building capacity, always remember that you are only a library if you have a lot of information but do not execute. Please,
Wow.
everything you had, take them, put them into use. Those are the words of my evil triple A. She's actually smiling. So that words have
Ah,
actually stuck to me for for a very long time. So just put this at the back of your mind, and that will be my health.
Thank you so much. Execute. And he said something. You are only a library. If you have information that you do not put to use, I hope we do not become walking human libraries. I really do hope we go home with that word. Kunle, we are coming over to you and we want to hear from you. What do you have for us? Our key takeaway point from you in this program.
Thank you so much, Chile. Benjamin was actually in my mind. I was going to say that knowledge is only power when you apply it. So you've gotten a lot of information here, but don't let it end there. Okay, go the extra mile of actually putting that information to use. Do your research, read, go online, go to the Global Mentorship Conference website, go to itrainafrica.com, read, consume information, and then begin to apply it. And that is how the information will really have an impact in your career. Okay, thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Knowledge is only power when you apply it. And that's a very powerful one. Thank you so much. So, Doctor, your key takeaway point for us in this talk show?
I would say there is a lot of noise and out there in terms of information, and everyone has an opinion about everything. Amongst the noise, try to find people who are genuinely knowledgeable. I do not mean big names. I do not mean popular speakers. I do not mean popular coaches. When someone talks from a true place of knowledge, you will know. because experience is not Googleable. You can't Google experience. So ensure that the first thing you do every time you are at a crossroad or trying to find direction or clarity, your first point of call should be to find who truly has the experience around what I need. When you find your Google search should be, oh, you have a gap. You know you have a gap in whatever area of your life. So you should be finding who has done it locally where I have done it. Find such a person, whether they have a big name or not, and follow them bumper to bumper. Don't stalk them, but you can learn a lot from people by just following their social media. Success leaves a blueprint. Open your eyes to follow that blueprint.
Success leaves a blueprint. Open your eyes to follow that blueprint. Thank you so much for these words. It's always a wonderful time each time we have opportunity to gather like this. And with this, we bring this meeting to a close. And before you leave, I know a lot of us have been muted. A lot of us haven't had anything, haven't had any opportunity to speak. I have asked us all to unmute. Please unmute your microphone and just say impact as we bring this meeting to a close. 1, 2, 3. Oh, some people are still unmuting. At the count of go
Impact.
among us.
Impact.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Sister Danielle. Thank you.
So much.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for
much,
coming.
everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone. Good night and have a wonderful
Good night.
night rest. Thank you,
Bye.
Kunle. Thank you, Benjamin.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Skule. Thank you, Toby. Thank you, Doctor, so much.
Thank you, Madam Daniel.
Thank you.
Bye.